In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. If you want to engage live in the content, you got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Living Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. Once you are there, you can engage live, just like all of these awesome people are doing right now. Thank you guys for being here today on Jimmy Rants. If you missed the live, it's all good. You can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours on Instagram Live. If you happen to miss it within that 24-hour period, don't worry. We put all the past episodes up on YouTube. Just type in a keyword search, Jimmy Rants, or go to youtube.com/livinglowcarbman. Almost at 15,000 subscribers there, guys. So go follow me over on YouTube. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show, we got a podcast for you. It's the Jimmy Rants podcast over on Apple Podcast and Stitcher, and all of these links are at JimmyRants.com. Today's Jimmy Rants, we are still fasting. Well, some of us are. A lot of you guys that have been following me over the past week and a half-ish here on Jimmy Rants, you know I've been on one singular subject, and by design. We have been talking about fasting. And quite frankly, I don't think enough people talk about extended fasting. We hear a lot of information about intermittent fasting, and there's great benefits to doing intermittent fasting. But I wonder how many people didn't know that they had it within them, that they could do something like extended fasting. And I think it's one of those things that until you get into it and until you go through some of the struggles that are associated with extended fasting, and until you're able to overcome some of those struggles to get to the point where we are officially now in day number 6 in the afternoon, we're in the home stretch, guys. For a lot of us, we are down to the last 24 hours of this fast. In fact, I just posted not long ago where I am in the fast. Day number 7, 146 hours in as of when I took this screenshot, 87% done now, and less than 24 hours to go until the end of the fast. That's pretty cool, right? So we put out this challenge about a week and a half ago. Who wants to join me on a 7-day water fasting challenge? And 2,000 of you took me up on that offer. We have been going through daily, offering all kinds of little ins and outs of how to do fasting, why you're doing fasting, some of the things you might run into. And we've been helping you here on Jimmy Rants because I don't think, like I said, there's enough support system for the people that actually want to do some of these extended fasts. And that's a shame. I'm more than happy to have done it for you guys here over the past week and a half. And on your last meal of the 4th of July, those 2,000 people started fasting. Some of them, for the very first time in their entire lives, they went more than 24 hours on a fast. A lot of people have never even tried to do that. And I think if you are very well keto adapted, fat adapted, and you haven't tried to push your body to see how far you could go fasting in a full-on water salt state, just to see how you do, you should. And if you sat on the sidelines during this fast and you did not participate, it's all good. Nobody's mad at you. But next time, join us. We're going to do this again in late August. I'll share all the details all over social media when we do it again. But I think if you are keto or eating real food or eating a nutrient dense diet, and you naturally fall into where you only eat maybe a meal or two a day, you should try extended fasting just to test where you are. And that's been the most gratifying thing to me of this entire experiment of doing this challenge, is all the people that went so far where they never even thought they would go. So thank you. Thank you to all of you guys that have shared how this has really inspired you, and you've done more than you ever thought you possibly could. But what I want to talk about here today is a very specific topic for all of you that are still here, day 6, you're still fasting, you're still doing well. It's in the afternoon of day 6, so everybody get your water, dilly. Everybody get your salt out. Get your salt ready. Get some in the hand. Down the hatchet. Woo! That was a lot of salt. That was a whole lot of salt. I'm gonna dilly again. That never gets old though. Getting that salt in the mouth, and then oof, I had a lot of salt in that mouth. I had to swish a little bit because I had salt all in my mouth. Whew. So, you're in the afternoon of day number 6. Are you doing well? Are you feeling good? You probably are. I had a little bit of moment today because I got kind of busy, and I had to go pick up some chicken feed, and I had to do some heavy lifting, bringing things into the house, some kitty litter and things like that. So I got a little bit where I knew I needed to have some electrolytes. So I came and salted up, and everything got better. But you should be pretty strong and still feeling well. And so if you're feeling strong and you're feeling well and you're coming down now less than 24 hours for a lot of you until you end this fast, or right around 24 hours until you end the fast, have you thought about this subject that I want to talk about here today of what if I don't want to end extended fasting at just 7 days? And I know that seems so preposterous because all week, what have we been doing? Oh, well, let's get through 7 days, and the end of 7 days, you can have some food. But I have to put out the argument, okay, that's all well and good. The goal was 7 days, and at the end of 7 days, in the fast, have some food. If that's what you choose to do, great. But I want to ask you a question, those of you that are still in this. What if you get to tomorrow, at whatever the appointed time is that you're supposed to, quote, end the fast, right? And what if you get there and you're like, I feel great. I'm not hungry. I have so much energy. My brain health is on fire. In fact, I just got my Keto Coach X meter. Where did I put that? I just got my Keto Coach X meter, and I was able to test my blood ketones. I have not been able to test blood ketones because I couldn't find my meter when I got home. I just got it in the mail, and when I tested about 15 minutes before getting on this Jimmy Rants, look at this, you guys. Bam! 5.2, baby! Pretty darn proud of that. Still have no idea what my blood sugar is, but if I have a 5.2 blood ketone reading, I'm pretty sure my blood sugar is well below 60. So I'm pretty happy about that. Means that I'm burning fat really, really efficiently right now, and I'm still burning a lot of fat on the scale too. That's neither here nor there. I want to know, if you get to tomorrow and you feel well, why would you end the fast? And I want you to think about that a little bit. I want you to think about it. And even from a psychological standpoint, yes, you've been building up to this moment where whatever time it is, for me, it's 12:17 p.m. tomorrow. And at 12:17 p.m. tomorrow, if I'm feeling well and I'm not feeling like I have to end the fast, why would I end the fast? It's something to think about. And of course, you could fool yourself into thinking, okay, well, it's the time to end the fast, so I should end the fast. But what if you pushed it a little further? What if all the benefits that you've gotten you continue to have those benefits kick in. And I think you continue to do the fast in those moments beyond that time that you were supposed to end it. So if you're thinking about ending it because it's the appointed time and you feel well and you have all of everything working well for you, why would you end it, right? So I'm going to be faced with this tomorrow, because when I am supposed to end my fast at 12:17 p.m., I am going to be driving on the road. So from a practical standpoint, it won't make sense for me to end the fast at 12:17 tomorrow. Then I'm supposed to go see a friend tomorrow afternoon, and then I'm supposed to stay in a hotel tomorrow night. Then I go see some more friends on Friday before I go to this speaking event that I'm doing this weekend. What if I fasted all the way through the whole weekend? What if I get to Sunday and I still haven't eaten and I still feel well? Should I eat then? So what I want you guys to think about, those of you that are still fasting and you're still trying to assess what you're supposed to do here, I want you to think about, okay, maybe I extend it. Maybe I see how I do. And if you're able to go 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, and some of you might want to push it a little bit further, but I think if you're feeling well, why would you stop the benefits? Why would you forget how well your body is functioning right now? And for those of you that aren't in this fasting period and you haven't gotten this deep into a fast, I'm trying to give you a little bit of the psychology here that goes on. And I know several of you made it at least 3 days. And 3 days is awesome. And you ended it for whatever your reasons. But if you get to 7 days and you're still feeling well, there's no reason why you could not possibly push it a little further. Now, let me give the caveat here. If at any point during a fast you don't feel well, and when I mean don't feel well, I mean you physically have symptoms that salt and water and electrolytes simply aren't cutting, then you need to end the fast. Be very clear about that. I've tried to be very consistent in that message of, if you don't feel well, you better darn well end the fast. And I will always have that mentality. I also want to think about, okay, what if some of the symptoms from the early part of fasting start to come on? Like I said, today, I got a little bit of kind of spaciness back again today. I got a little bit of where I kind of felt bad just for a few moments. And it was right after I was unloading my car of some very heavy stuff. And I was like, whoa, okay, I need to chill out a little bit. I salted up and watered up, and I was just fine again. So when you get beyond the 7 days, if you decide to push it a little further, then when do you decide to end it? Okay? So if you have some of those moments and you're able to salt up and electrolyte up and water up, and it's not cutting it, then please end the fast. If you get some obsession where you have to have food, please end the fast. At that point, you're into overtime. I want to do a sports analogy for you. So imagine you're in a football game, and at the end of regulation, it's 17-17. You play a little more, right? So I want you to think about this extended fasting of being into a little bit of overtime. If the overtime goes for 6 more hours, then by golly, you did 6 more hours. If the overtime goes 4 more days, then by golly, you did 4 more days. I want to see, if you are willing to, how far you could go. Now, I don't think the longer the better. So again, don't misrepresent what I'm saying here. I don't think people need to go super duper dippity long with these fasts. I've done 3 21-day fasts, and I've been extremely deep into those. And there are moments where you want to give in. But I think the goal of 7 days and then pushing yourself to 8, 9, maybe 10 days, it'd be kind of cool, especially those of you that have done 5 days, 7 days before. This is kind of an interesting test. Now, I will be quite frank with you guys. I have had such phenomenal results with this fasting. I don't want to stop. I don't want to end those benefits that I've received from this. I have seen so much loss of weight on the scale. I have felt so well. I have yet to have a breakout on my skin, and I always have breakouts around my nose. I'm seeing incredible benefits, which I know is a direct correlation to the insulin lowering, the inflammation lowering, the blood ketone rising, which I just showed you on camera, blood glucose going down. There's so many good things that are happening, autophagy happening, human growth hormone getting boosted, testosterone getting boosted. Nothing but good things are happening. And not that you can't get some of those benefits when you eat keto, but I think keto with targeted periods of fasting is incredible. And I think when you get to this really sweet spot of where you feel fantastic when you haven't eaten for a period of 6+ days, I'm in my 7th day of fasting now, and I feel better than I did in my 2nd day of fasting. And that blows people's minds because they do have this image of they're just going to get progressively worse and worse, hungrier and hungrier, weaker and weaker. And that simply doesn't happen. You guys have watched me daily on these Jimmy Rants. Do I ever look like I'm lacking in energy other than that one time on day 2 and 3? I was really doing bad that day, and I was lacking energy that day. But every other day I've been super duper energetic. And it's because those ketones, and again, I'll pop them on the screen. Those ketones right there. That was what my ketones were as of 15 minutes ago on the Keto Coach X monitor. And I'm doing fantastic. And I just wonder, for those of you that are still fasting, can you push it? Can you go a full 7 days and then some? I want to see some of you guys test that. And of course, it's all going to be based on how you feel once that 7th day comes tomorrow. So if you get there and you're like, dang it, Jimmy, I do feel good, let's push it a little further. And then from there, everything from there is gravy, because your goal was to hit 7 days. 12:17 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time, I am going to hit my 4 hours or 7 days of fasting. It's going to be done, and anything beyond that is just gravy. And I want you to look at it that way, as okay, you accomplished the goal. Now just see how much further you could go. And if you drop out a couple hours afterwards, great, you did a couple more hours. If it's a couple days later, great, you did a couple more days. And all of the benefits you've been getting, you're going to continue to get with those little bit of extra that you add to it. So the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants, what if you don't want to end your extended fasting at just 7 days? And I say, don't worry about it. If you don't want to, and you're getting great benefits and you feel good, you have lots of energy and you're not hungry and you're getting all of these great benefits, then you should continue the fast. Now, I will make the caveat here that I don't think you get great benefits from going very long on a fast. So I used to do these 21-day fasts. I don't think you have to go that long anymore. But 10 days? Sure. And I remember interviewing this ketogenic fasting cancer expert, Dr. Thomas Seyfried, on the Live and La Vida Low Carb show right about a decade ago. And he told me that one of the surefire best ways to prevent cancer as a preventative measure in people that are relatively healthy that don't want to have cancer is to fast with water and salt 7 to 10 days at least once a year. And if you do that, then you get the cancer prevention that he thinks you're going to get. I'm assuming it's related somewhat to the autophagy, somewhat to regulating your insulin. Obviously, you need to eat keto when you're not fasting to make that benefit happen. But man, how cool is that? How easy is that? And for those of you that have family history of cancers, how incredible would that be if you buck your family history by embracing something as simple as doing a 7 to 10 day fast at least once a year, right? So let's see what you guys have to say. Those of you that are still in it to win it, welcome, welcome. Day number 6, afternoon, less than 24 hours away for most of us. So I want to see if you'd be willing to try this if your body tells you it's okay. I am strong, I am keto. I'm up at 3 a.m. in Thailand watching you. God bless you. You stayed up to 3 o'clock in the morning just to watch me here on Jimmy Rants. I am honored. Wendy says, oh my gosh, I'm here. You made it, Wendy. Keto, my sister said, did 3 days with you. Awesome. Congratulations. Good job. Karen says 11 more hours to go for me. Yeah, a lot of us are in the home stretch. Brooke says, we're in the end game now. Yeah, buddy. Thanks, Jimmy. First time ever doing a water-only fast. So glad you posted this challenge. Well, Brooks, you've been one of my enthusiastic followers, so I really appreciate you following along on this fast. Sally says, I'll make it. 16 more hours left, and we'll be asleep part of that. We'll add 6 hours because I'll be at work when it's time to break it. And Sally, you're right about something. Once you get under 24 hours left, if you've made it this far, even if you feel like crap for whatever the reason, you're going to go all the way to 7 days because you're just too close to the eye on the prize. You literally see that light at the end of the tunnel, and it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter as time goes by. Steph says, while tomorrow is day 7, technically I hope to complete 7 calendar days and then break it on Friday. I need to meal prep for camping on the weekend anyway. Win-win. Awesome. Shirley says, I was a little hungry earlier, but I went outside and got some sun. Next time it happened, I cut the grass and went for a swim. I feel great now. Yeah, I cut my grass. It took me 2 days to cut my grass because it was so tall from us being gone on vacation. So I did my front yard the one day, and then the backyard was really bad. That's where all the chickens are. They pooped everywhere. So really tall green grass. Yeah, it was good though. Norma says, I'm only doing 7 days since this is my first time extended fasting. Also having surgery soon, so I want to be healed up for that. Good. Linda says, finally, I'm watching live. Well, welcome, Linda. Thanks for being here. I've never done a fast before. I'm almost at 48 hours. Have been following your fasting series. Got your complete guide to fasting book and said, what the heck? Now I have the audiobook. Oh, great. You get to hear my voice on the audiobook. Fasting All-Stars, Rob Wolf. Shirley says, I have a dentist appointment 45 minutes after my 168-hour mark. I think I'm going to push it at least till after the appointment. But if I'm still feeling good, so we'll see. Yeah. You don't want to eat right before a dentist appointment anyway. And right after it, you probably don't want to eat too. So it's probably good timing that all that happened. Deanna says, I'm out of strips, just ordered more, but they won't get here in time unless I hold out and go longer. Well, there's your incentive to go longer. Berkeley says, I would love to fast on despite a 4-day conference coming up, but I have profound periods of weakness. I think my 68-year-old body says no more. Well, listen to your body, Berkeley. And the fact that you pushed yourself to get to this point in the fast is quite admirable. My parents are about your age, and neither one of them would ever do something like this. So kudos to you. Deanna says, my time is up at 9 p.m., so I'm thinking of at least going until Friday. Yeah, I mean, if it ends at 9 o'clock at night, then you're not going to eat at 9 o'clock at night. And then you have to go to sleep. That's way too late to eat anyway. So you're going to naturally push it a little bit longer, it sounds like. Lana says, exactly, if you're feeling well and not any medical issues, go for it. I think there's no downside in pushing a fast a little bit longer if you feel well. Don't mess with what your body is telling you. Your body's telling you you're doing great. You're doing great. Gina says, you look great, Jimmy. Well, thank you. I feel good. And I'm not going to lie. I've lost a significant amount of weight doing this. Let me add it up in my head because I had it earlier. And let's see. 14 pounds now? 14 so far. Mr. Savory, I tested today, day 6, first test, and I had a 4.0 blood ketone, 75 blood glucose. That's awesome. Shirley says, awesome ketone number. Thank you. Yeah, I just tested with the Keto Coach X. And again, what was that? Here it is. 5.2 up there. Looks pretty good, right? Let's see here. Oh my thing just decides to go cray-cray on me. There we go. Ketoholic says, how long after 7 days does weight loss continue still at the same rate? Obviously not. When you start eating food again, if you've been losing 2-3 pounds a day, you're not going to keep losing 2-3 pounds a day, nor should you actually. So you're going to gain back a portion of the weight that you've lost. So far I've lost right around 13-14 pounds, whatever it was. So when I start eating again, I'm going to gain back a modicum of that. And it's not going to freak you out. It shouldn't freak you out. That's very natural when you start introducing food back into your diet again. The way that you can keep some of the weight down that you did lose, because everybody's like, well, all the weight you lose on a fast, you gain it all back. No, you don't. You gain back a portion of it, somewhere from 2/3 to 3/4 of it right back. But you keep off a lot of it, because think about it. You have trained now your body to tap in to that stored body fat for fuel. That's what is making you feel well on an extended fast. So you're going to keep that fat loss. Okay. So how do you keep up the weight loss benefits once it's all over? And we talked about this a little bit earlier in another Jimmy Rants. You're going to do some alternate day fasting. You're going to maybe push your body to do more kind of maybe 36-ish hour fasts after you're done with extended fasting. I naturally do OMAD, 1 meal a day, when I'm not fasting. And so 1 meal a day is 24 hours of fasting. So if I'm already used to 24 hours of fasting, maybe that's my body telling me, okay, big boy, try to push it to 36 to 42 hours of fasting between meals. So maybe that's my strategy for keeping up these benefits that I've got from doing this extended fasting. And I want to keep these benefits going. I want my body to continue tapping into the stored body fat. I can tell from my clothes, my pants are falling off of me, guys, literally. And of course, I've been telling you just the slowing down and the de-stressing that I'm doing heading into this sabbatical starting in September. I've already, just before I started fasting, I had already lost about 15 pounds. So on top of the 15 pounds lost, now I'm doing this fasting and losing a little bit more. I'm losing a significant amount of weight. And I think that's only going to continue if I continue to do things once this is over to kind of keep that ball rolling. Brooke says, I was thinking about going longer because my ketones have barely gotten above 2.1. Was thinking my body needed more time to heal. Lowest glucose 70 so far. Well, Brooks, don't worry about the higher ketone. Higher ketone is not your goal. If I had my druthers about me, my goal of ketones would be 0. Because when you have a ketone of 0, it means you are making ketones at the same rate that you're using the ketones. 0 with the caveat of, I feel great, I'm getting all the benefits of ketosis. So the fact that you're getting a 2.1 blood ketone, it could be that you're getting quite efficient at using ketones for fuel. Don't beat yourself up about this. I think we too often try to chase a higher and higher number. Higher and higher ketones is not the goal, guys. It never has been. It never will be. More efficient use of those ketones is the goal. That 5.2 that's in my blood right now, that is a very high number that I want my body to get better used to using those ketones. And this is what fasting does. It helps your body kind of get into that mode where you produce enough ketones so that then they can be utilized as fuel. And then that fuel is used up in the body. And I want it to be this 1-to-1 ratio between how many ketones are being made and how much you're using, so that the goal is really a 0 on the blood ketone meter. That's so wild to think about, but that's the ultimate goal that you're trying to get to. Deborah says, I'm an hour from day 7 start. Woohoo, excellent. Sue says, almost there. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Lee's agent says, thanks, Jimmy. I've lost 10 pounds. I'm seeing numbers I really hadn't seen in years. Yeah, I was telling a friend earlier, I am at a weight right now that I have not seen on a scale in about 3 years. I'm at a low weight in about 3 years. So that's exciting, guys. And not that weight in and of itself is the be-all, end-all, end game in all this, but it sure is a cool little side effect of getting the body healthier. And I was telling this friend, if this is what it's like just slowing down, what's going to happen when I completely go away and I completely start making my full-time job, working on my body, doing all kinds of biohacks, all kinds of fitness training, stress relief, counseling, all kinds of things. I'm excited, guys. I want to see what happens. Newman says, I've done a 48-hour fast about 25 years ago, or excuse me, 42-hour fast about 25 years ago, and it was bad. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I have an insulin pump, CGM, ketone meter. Day 3 sugar went to 140, ketone 7.1. I felt so sick that I stopped. Well, if you needed to stop, and type 1 diabetics are definitely a far different beast than everybody else. You have certain challenges that make fasting probably a hard no, unless you're being incredibly closely monitored. So if you're closely monitored by a doctor and the doctor's okay with it, then yes, because your insulin requirements are going to go way down. You still will have to pump some insulin, but the requirements will be way, way down from what they need to be or what you think they would be. So yeah, type 1 diabetes, please don't play with that and fasting, because I do think fasting can be a little bit hard for someone with type 1 diabetes trying to do it on their own. Nadia says, I didn't have any salt today. I felt okay. Is it necessary? I felt nauseous last night when I took it. I have found the deeper I've gotten into the fast, the less I've needed the electrolyte drops that I've been using, which again, I'll remind you, the fasting drops from Keto Chow. This is what I've been using. You can get this on Amazon.com. And then the salt is Redmond's Real Salt. Been using this as well, again, on Amazon.com, along with my book, Complete Guide to Fasting. All of those are on Amazon. And I've found the deeper I've gotten into the fast, the less reliant on these things that I've needed. Now, like I said earlier, when I was lifting those really heavy 50-pound bags of chicken feed, and then I had 40-pound litter things that I had to buy for the cats, I got a little bit dizzy after I did that. So I did have some salt and it all went away. So yeah, it's okay if you need to back off on it a little bit. Newman says, thanks for all the encouragement. You're welcome. Lisa says, do you think the amount of weight someone has on them affects how long they are able to fast? I think so. I mean, obviously someone who has more weight on the body is more able to be fueled by the fat, which is an energy reserve on the body. That said, I do think there are certain people who do very well fasting. And I'm going to give you a little insider baseball on who's really, really good at fasting. It's going to be a marker that you might not have ever heard of before, but I want to put it on your radar screen. So there's this marker. It's a marker on kind of cholesterol. It's not directly cholesterol, but it's one of those ones in that cluster of ones whenever you're looking at cholesterol. So your cholesterol numbers, your LDL particle numbers, and that kind of thing. The one I want you to pay attention to, if you've never had it run before, is lipoprotein a. So sometimes you'll see it on blood test called LP, and then it's got like a little parentheses around an A. That's called lipoprotein a. And if you have a high number on your lipoprotein a, and high is in the triple digits. So it's supposed to be under 100 for people, but some of us tend to have a higher lipoprotein a, which does increase your risk of heart disease. But here's the caveat. Here's the fun part of lipoprotein a being higher. You're able to fast, and you're able to fast for very long periods of time. And my lipoprotein a, you guys, has always been very, very high. So if you've never run lipoprotein a, you can run it yourself. There's several places online, anylabtestnow.com, privatemdlabs.com. There's a bunch of kind of labs you can do. And you can get your own requisition papers, go down to the LabCorp office in your local area, and you'll get it emailed back to you. And if it's a triple digit, that tells you you are probably better suited to fast than probably anybody else. So that's pretty cool, right? Bet you didn't know that one. Tony says, 20 hours into my fast, glucose 58, ketones 1.6, a little cold, but fine. All that is normal. Caden says, my size 42 pants are falling off. Time to retire them, even though they're my favorite pair. Well, you could wear a tight belt with them, I guess, to keep them up. Metrics says, I think the perseverance with this fast has earned me some credibility with my family, especially since I binged in anticipation of the fast on July 4th, which probably led to my headache on day 1 too. Oh yeah. Don't do that the next time. Trick says, my husband is impressed with my progress. After we had the conversation of fasting is unhealthy, we discussed his diet, picking up Keto Clarity Cookbook tonight. Well, thank you for that. Hope you enjoyed that. We are very proud of that book. Shirley says, I started feeling bad after taking the electrolytes, so I stopped today, keeping the salt though. Well, if you feel bad after having electrolytes, perhaps your body is already sufficient. And that's your body's way of telling you, okay, dude, I got this. You got plenty in me. You don't have to add more. So the electrolytes and the salt, you guys, is as needed. You know, people are wanting to know, how much salt should I have? How much electrolyte should I have? How much water should I drink? And I'm always like, I don't know, because your body's going to tell you when you've had enough. So if you get an adverse reaction when you have these things, that's not that those things are bad. It's just that your body is probably sufficient with them. LAL Myres, I tried to start on Monday. I failed. Tried Tuesday, also failed. Today feel awesome, not hungry, so maybe I'm slow to start, but don't give up. Well, don't look at it as failing. Just look at it as your body wasn't ready. And I don't think you need to jump right back into a fast again if you just weren't feeling it. I say give your body a little bit of kind of grace and love and respect. Back away for a little bit, then come back. And if you do that, you're going to be ready the next time and better prepared the next time. So guys, the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants, what if I don't want to end my extended fasting at just 7 days? It's okay. If tomorrow is supposed to be the end of your fast, and for Jimmy Moore, it's at 12:17 p.m. tomorrow. That is when I'm supposed to end this 7-day fast, but I'm going to be driving. Am I going to eat something in my car? No. I'm going to go meet a friend tomorrow afternoon. So if I meet the friend, am I supposed to eat at that person's house? No. I'm going to a hotel tomorrow night. Am I supposed to end it there? No, not necessarily. On Friday, I'm supposed to go meet some friends on the way to this speaking gig this weekend. Am I supposed to eat with them? No. Am I supposed to eat when I go to this speaking event? No. I'm going to let my body tell me. And I think that intuitiveness about fasting is something that you should also implement with your keto. And always keep that in mind. Jan says, I think the reason a lot of us have been successful is because of you having this public challenge going on, because when you do it by yourself, you can get into your own head, talk yourself out of it. With these lives, we all know where to get support when it's not coming from the people around us. So thank you very much for that. Well, that was the most gratifying part of doing this, because I had no idea a lot of you cray-cray people wanted to do fasting with me. So that was the funnest part for me, because you guys know my jam is encouragement. My jam is teaching. And I'm really good at both of those things. And been very blessed in my life to be able to have those gifts and to have a positive attitude and joy. And I try to exude that onto you through this little iPhone that I do these Jimmy Rants on. So if you've gotten benefit out of that, I am so happy to hear that. Lisa says, can fasting be a tool someone uses to prepare for a higher carb vacation, for example? Don't do a higher carb vacation. You're talking to the wrong person about doing a higher carb vacation. I don't think vacation's the time to, quote, let yourself go. If you're going to let yourself go on vacation, have steak with butter. How's that for some tough love? Trick says, Jimmy's been the bomb. Thank you for that. VSJ, 72 hours in and had a nag of a headache in the last 2 days. Any reason why? Well, if you are only 72 hours in and you used to drink diet soda or used to drink coffee and you're not doing those things now, that will cause a headache. It's also a sign that you might be dehydrated, so make sure you're amply hydrating your body with plenty of water, and then make sure that you're getting the salt and the electrolytes. Wendy says, can't wait until the next one next month. Yes, so I have not announced it yet, but tentatively we're going to start on August the 19th. I'm still working out coming back from the Canada trip. I've got a Keto Canada conference that I'm emceeing on August 17th, and we're trying to work out the dates that we're coming home from that. And so if I'm home and I'm in the saddle here and can be here with you guys, then we will start that on August the 19th and go a week. If not, then it might be like the 20th or the 21st. The problem is I'm running out of time at that point because my sabbatical starts September the 1st. So once September 1 comes, I'm going completely silent. I'm off all social media, all everything. And so I've got to be done before I go away. Lisa says, yes, thanks for your advice and encouragement. We'll miss you on your sabbatical. Well, I'll miss you guys. I really will. VSJ, don't drink coffee or soda. Drink a gallon of water or more a day. It could be that you're drinking so much water that you've depleted your salt and your electrolytes, VSJ. So hopefully that will help you out. That's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, you can engage live in the content, but you got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Living Low Carb Man. That's LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live just like all these beautiful people did here today. Thanks for being here today, you guys. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours. After that, you got to pop over to YouTube, type in a keyword Jimmy Rants, or go to youtube.com/Living Low Carb Man. I'm like just a few people away from 15,000 subscribers there. So show me some love, guys. Go follow me over on YouTube. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show is on a podcast. It's the Jimmy Rants podcast over on Apple Podcast and Stitcher. And all of these links, you guys, are at jimmyrants.com. Less than 24 hours away. So until next time, we'll see you then.